I want to know how much intentional, do you spend away from your partner, trying to not be around them? That's what I want to know. The first thing everyone wants to do is figure out, how do I connect to my partner better to spend more time with them and more quality time? How do we get bonded in deeper levels, right? And one of the biggest components that you have to mix into that equation is the yin yang of what makes a bond really precious and valuable to you, which is just as much of the time you want to spend with someone to enjoy them and enjoy that value. You need time away from that person to actually value it more. So, how often do you intentionally create space between you and your partner to do your own thing? To be off and just going out to have a self date by yourself while you're still actively in a relationship, right? Treat yourself to a meal or something somewhere, right? How often do you go off to that special place you like, the park or wherever it is, just to do it for you, right? To have space and time away from your partner, right? When do you intentionally try to spend the day out to yourself, right? To where you're not in their proximity, to where you're literally giving yourself an opportunity to scale back and reflect on the value that is your partner. See, so often a lot of the biggest issues in relationships are hard to work through because people are so focused on the problem because they're living in it, and they never give themselves an opportunity to take a step back and recognize what they also are appreciative of and what they're grateful for in respect to their partner, and not just this annoying thing that is so blown up in their mind because they're so focused on it that their partner does, or the thing that frustrates them, right? I mean, think about it. If you are always looking at something like this, right, this close to your face, and it's always right there and it's so blown up, whatever the issues with that thing is, or the problems you're dealing with that thing, or the imperfections, they're going to be blown up too. And you're going to be sleeping and breathing those things because they're right there in your face and you see them all the time, right? To where all you can do is focus on it and think about it and talk about it and be annoyed by it or whatever. To where the rest of the thing, right, besides a little crack or that little imperfection in that thing, right, the rest of it, you kind of not even focusing on because you can't see it, because all you can see is that issue right in front of your face. You need to scale back to where you can see the whole thing, to where now you recognize that crack's still there, still needs to be worked on. But oh my gosh, you forgot how much you appreciate the whole package, the rest of the package. That's what it's like in your relationships with your partner, right? You can't see up close what requires you to take a step back and create space to see from a distance. And by doing that, you give yourself the gift of actually fueling more of your bond that you want to build with your partner by creating space to miss them, right? You need to have still an autonomous life that you're doing things on your own with the intentionality of doing it not to spite your partner or to just not be around them, but to just feed the relationship with you to yourself, right? To spend time with you, because you are a person that needs yourself to spend time with you, just like your partner needs you to spend time with them, and vice versa. So whenever you're able to do that with the right intention, right, it's coming from a positive means, not you're trying to punish your partner or get them to do what you want by intentionally saying, I'm not going to let them hang with me or be around me. I'm not going to talk to them till they start to do right and do the things I want them to do. That's negative. That's toxic. But when your intention is for the love for yourself to go do this, but while you're in that experience, maybe part of that experience is reflecting on your relationship and on your partner and the things you appreciate about them. So you can start to see again, wow, I really do love my partner. And the more time you can give yourself opportunities to not be around them, if you're around them a lot already, because everything's balanced, right? You shouldn't be always trying to, make sure you're not around them either to do your own thing to where you're never connecting to them. But a lot of us, once you get into a committed relationship, we spend night and day with that person, talking to them all the time. We become engulfed in them to where we almost get fused to them, which feels good for the most part until the flare in a relationship starts to die down some, right? Until it starts to be a little more monotonous because you're not creating enough contrast to where, yes, you have a lot of time with them, but you create ample time to where you're also not with them so you can actually appreciate and miss them better. So if you want to get to connecting with your partner even better than maybe you already are, or putting that spark back in the flame that is your relationship, then focus more on creating intentional time for positive reasons to go do your own thing And while you're in that space, reflect on your partner a lot more and think about what you appreciate about them, what you're grateful for, and what you think could contribute to you guys being even better, right? What you could pour into the equation to help take what you already value to the next level from positive reasoning, from a space of gratitude, not a space of void or feeling of loss or, pain or whatever, right? Something that you're just so frustrated with them about. Because if you can trade expectation for appreciation, right, and appreciate them more, then now you can approach them with a more positive attitude and state and look at that thing that annoys you about them on a smaller scale because you're more focused on the big picture of the value that they are and what they mean to your life. And that's not overcomplicated either. Just simply put, does it not give you more of a craving to want to see your partner and keeps that, excitement towards them alive a little bit better whenever you're not around them enough to where you want to see them, you can't wait to see them to, I don't know, jump all over them, whatever you do, be around them, talk to them, all the things, to where you have this space where it's almost this anticipation for when I get to see my partner again, because I have not seen them for this amount of time, to where I get to actually be aware of the lack of their presence and what that means. Maybe that energy I love from them, it's not around me long enough to where I'm realizing, oh gosh, something is different in my world without them there. To where maybe, I'm recognizing, when they always come to talk to me about different things and I get to connect and get the event and we get to talk about stuff that I have interest in, I really appreciate that and value that. And when they're not around long enough, I'm aware that it's not there. And that right there is the best way. In real time, you give yourself a tangible experience that is what life is like without them. So you can always remember what you appreciate about life being with them in your world, right? Game changing thing. As long as you build a healthy muscle of it to where now it inspires you and motivates you to want to get back to be with them and be excited about it instead of being in close proximity all the time to where you forget the value in some of the things they bring to your life because you're always engulfed in it and don't have a chance to take a step out of it to appreciate it. So if you want your bond with your partner to develop even deeper than it already is currently, create more intentional time away from them to feed the relationship to yourself so that your intentional time with them is that much better. Let's get it.